What has your pet accidentally conditioned you to do? Change the water in her bowl. It can be all the way to the top and she'll stand there staring at it until I take the bowl, dump it, and refill it with fresh water. I open the tinfoil as quietly as possible. My cat loves tinfoil balls, and whenever he hears it he runs over and looks at it longingly, despite him having at least 24 tinfoil balls already. You can't call him with a treat bag or tin, he only comes for the foil. Check the mail every day. He's so excited to walk to the mailbox with me, it reminds me to actually do it. Sleep with my legs a cat length apart. She likes to sleep in between them. Before I run in the morning I usually scarf down a banana. Ever since we got my sweet dog, I scarf down about 2/3 of my banana, and he gets the last part. It's become a little thing, an unspoken agreement. Weaving his name into any song I can for no reason whatsoever. To press on my bladder to wake me up early, so they could eat early. Living lots of food by night didn't solve it. Two things. My dog Rusty always puts his front paws on me, and I always hugged him, so now, when he's anxious he'll give me a hug, and I'll hug him back. The other one is, when I get iced he always begs for one, so now without thinking I always toss him an ice cube. Edit. Thank you all for the awards. I'd assume you'd all like to know the good boy is sleeping on my chest right now, and yes, he did get an ice cube before bed. Calm down when I start to lose my temper or get frustrated. Whenever he hears me sigh or swear, he runs to me, rests his chin on my arm or leg and looks up at me with concern. This has made me so aware of how my energy can impact those around me, and I have really gotten my anger under control since he started doing this. He's one of the goodest boys and I'm grateful for him every day. A pic of my goodest boy. Right square bracket. My girlfriend's older cat makes me pick her up to drink running tap water from her bathroom sink. I also gotta pick her up to get on the dryer to eat, even though she can easily make the jump. Run towards the door when they start dry heaving. I have a cat that plays fetch very insistently. She brings me her toy mouse, and if I don't throw it for her, she sits on my laptop keyboard. Of course this all started when I would throw the mouse to keep her from sitting on my laptop. My mother's dog tells her when it's time for her evening meal, as in my mother's evening meal. The dog knows she eats after my mother, so when she starts to get peckish she goes and bugs her to start cooking. When I go back to visit, we'll be sitting chatting, and the dog will sidle in and become a presence in the room for maybe 30 seconds until my mother casually looks at her watch and says, "I suppose we better think about eating." She's completely unaware of what triggers her decision. My cattle dog knows if he coughs on my face in the morning, I will get up and wash it. Then now I guess I'm just up. Also, for one cat I leave the toilet seat up so she can pee, otherwise she will go down the sink and that feels wrong. Yell floor food. Whenever I'm cooking and I drop something, or go crunch 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 when I'm chopping veggies, so my dog knows I have extras for her. This wasn't accidental. I have a kitten, about 5 months old. Every morning, I wake up, and feeding him is one of the first things I do. In the first couple months, in his little brain, he learned that me waking up equals FOOD. About a month ago, he started waking me up, looking to expedite the process. Jumping on me, meowing loudly, running across the bed, whatever gets me out of bed. I usually wake up around 6 AM for work. I guess that was too late for breakfast, as over the course of about a week this kitten would wake me up about 15 to 20 minutes earlier every day. This started on a Sunday, and it wasn't until Friday that I was woken up and realized it was 4:30 AM. It was then that I realized I've been outsmarted by a kitten, and I was being conditioned to feed him in the middle of the night. Now if he wakes me up early, he gets locked out of the room until I'm ready to get out of bed. He doesn't wake me up anymore. One of my dogs has several barks, a play bark and a squirrel bark and other dog things that are normal dog barks. He also had what we call his emergency bark. The emergency bark is what he does when he thinks there is serious danger. It is extremely loud and makes us jump every time. He usually reserves it for things like the time I fell down the stairs and he scream barked for my husband to help, or when someone is in our front yard, or when he cornered a possum in the backyard. However, since my husband started working from home, this dog barks his emergency bark at my husband if he tries working past 4 p.m. My husband now has learned to stop working at about 3:50 every day to avoid that jarring sound. Sleep on my back or front. I used to be a side sleeper, but have an elderly cat who loves her human bed. When I come home, my dog comes to the door all excited, wagging her tail, making this woo woo ow sound. It's not quite howling, but it's not barking either. I started to woo wow wow back to her because it amused me, but now if I don't, the sound she makes will turn into barking, which is very noisy and unpleasant. So basically she's trained me to have this dumb woo 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 conversation with her in order to keep her from yelling at me. Edit because lots of people are asking, she's a Portuguese water dog. Shuffle my feet instead of walking when it's dark so I don't step on my small, black cat. I had fish on top of this cabinet, not sure if that's the right word, so I would always be really careful when closing it so it doesn't disturb them. I haven't had fish or any other pet in 5 years, but I still do it. When I get up to go to the bathroom, I stand in the door and wait for my elderly cat to come in before I close the door. He likes to keep me company. If he doesn't come in right away, I'll call for him, and if still nothing, I'll start walking around the house looking for him. My husky does this sneezing thing when she's anxious, and I imitate her every time she does it. Usually causes follow-up sneezes. I also know right when she's about to groan, when she's anxious/annoyed, and if I make the noise before she does, she won't do it. My cat sleeps under the blanket snuggled up to me. Even when I'm at a hotel, I instinctively raise the blanket a bit so he can crawl in. Edit. Here's my baby boy snuggling me. Incidentally, my story from the reverse of this question still applies. We've conditioned him to dramatically flop onto his side for pets, and he's conditioned us to give him attention when he flops because it's so damn cute. We tried to encourage our cat to not wander around crying for attention, so I started going to pet him every time he quietly laid down. It worked to a certain point, but now his method of demanding attention is to dramatically throw himself onto his side with a huff and stare at us. Fortunately for him, it's very cute, so it still works in getting him attention. Cat tax for photographic evidence. Edit to add, as a bonus, our bigger, older cat figured out what gets attention for the younger one and started mimicking it, much less dramatically though, so we sometimes get situations like this. My wife just got out of the cat's chair on our front porch after he strolled up and meowed. Crazy thing is, it's not our cat. My parents' cat prefers to drink water directly from the tap before. Every night before bed he'll hop onto their sink and meow until someone turns on the tap for him. Then when he's done, he'll meow again until someone turns off the tap and carries him to bed. Everything her little heart desires. BC, I'm an idiot sucker, and she knows it. Save the last part of everything I eat for him. Leave space next to my pillow for him to cuddle next to. Though often both cats wanna sleep there, and I have what I call my cat hat to sleep in. Panic when the door opens. My dogs are runners. She's a tracker, so whenever she needs something she'll just walk me to it. So now whenever she looks at me and paws at my foot, I just follow her. It's just a reflex at this point. When I'm having dinner, my cat would jump on the table and look at me with squinting eyes until I feed him. I try to resist, but his eyes squint so hard it's as though he's about to fall asleep. Too cute not to give him a little bit of my food. I have 3 cats, so I'm as trained as a seal at SeaWorld. Here are just 3. In the evenings, Icy will sleep on the living room furniture. If I get up to get a drink, she will stretch and roll over demanding belly rubs. And she wants me to tell her she is a pretty girl. if I don't pet her and tell her that she will meow at me when I come back. Luna likes to know where I'm at all times, so she will call out to me and expect me to answer. I know the meow that means Lisa Simpson, where the hell are you? She won't stop until I answer her. Mr. Saucy Pants is a big baby, so he needs lots of reassurance, and I have to leave the bathroom door cracked so he knows he can get to me if he is scared. If it don't, this little paw slides under the door and he cries. The only time I shut the door is if other people are here. The cats run the house. Yell her name when she barks. It's just automatic now. Pick up the turds which just periodically fall out of his asshole for no apparent reason, and also pay $400 to have the vet stick a finger up there when it gets clogged up once or twice every year. When it comes to pooping, my cat is all or nothing. Lift the covers in my sleep so he can crawl in. He aggressively headbutts until he gets his way, so now I just do it to avoid a mean bonk to the face with a hard furry skull in the night. My dog likes to sleep under the bed covers. If she wants to get under, she will come and nudge me gently, and no matter how asleep I'll lift the covers with my legs so she can get in. My dog Yuri has conditioned me into being his pillow at night. At first I would immediately push him off when he tried, but eventually he learned how to rest his head on my chest little by little, so I didn't notice. Now I basically just let him do it, lol. She will look toward the kitchen and then back at me with a smile. Then she gives a little wag and looks at the kitchen and back at me with that cute smile. She's telling me she wants a treat.